Welcome to Connecting Greeks, a streaming comedy show and podcast designed to explore and enhance Greek culture around the world. Join hosts Angelo, Adi, and Foti as they bring you fun and interesting guests from all walks of Greek life. Grab a kafedaki and join us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another amazing episode of Connecting Greeks. Today we got a special episode with a special guest, but before we get to him, I want to introduce my co-host Foti Stamos. How are you, Foti?
Yasu Ari.
Τι κάνεις, καλά?
Not really, but yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's nice to hear. Moving on, all the way from Los Angeles is our good friend, awesome dude, superstar, Angelo Tsaroukas. How are you, Angelo?
Hey boys, what's going on? Adi and Forty, good to see you guys.
Angelo.
I got my Koboloi here.
That's it.
Try to cut down. And look, before we say we bring on our guest today, the very, very funny guest, I want to give a special shout out to Forty and to his company. We got St. George Wines, which is Skouras wine. That's wines. Which we've been fortunate enough from our friends. Forty, what's the name of the company again?
Greek Wine Club is the
Wine Club
company that we've launched that actually ships Greek wines all over the country. Not just Greek wines, because you did get more than just Greek wines, but yes,
right. And because we also got, and because my wife's Armenian, and now you're going to definitely help me score in this one, Forty. We got great Armenian wine.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So we got. There's more. These are the two.
Yes.
That.
So in your package, Angela, we sent you the best expressions and representations of Greek wine today.
And Armenian wine.
And Armenian, yes, by far Armenian. So
if people want to get it, where do they go? They go to GreekWineClub.com.
Ari.
.co.
We couldn't get the .com because we want
you get .com. So you got GreekWineClub.co.
Oh, yes.
Which is great. And I tell you what, man, I really appreciate this, and I'm going to encourage everybody. And I'm also going to do a special shout out on Instagram for you too on this one, okay? That. Because it was very kind of you to send it. Ground transportation, Boston, Los Angeles.
Yes. And moving forward, you know what? We'll send you plenty of wine so that we can actually have a drink together while we're doing our segments.
Good idea. That sounds good. So I wanted to get that out of the way before I forget. As you know, this is Connecting Greeks, and we've been fortunate to connect Greeks from all around the world. This particular comedian, I originally met him in Toronto when he was working there years ago. And since then, we became great friends. I've worked with him in Canada and in the U.S. He makes me laugh. I think he's hilarious. He's originally from Perth, Australia, and he makes his home in New York. And he's a very funny guy, and you're going to see why he's done a one-man off-Broadway show. You've seen him on television. He tours all around North America, Australia, Canada, U.S., UK, all those places. And, he's one of those guys that makes me laugh all the time. So let's welcome to Connecting Greeks our good friend, Jim Dailakis.
Jim, there he is.
Καλησπέρα σας, παιδάκια. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for being with us.
What is it when you talk to Greeks, you always have to sound like an uncle?
It's just
or a papu.
It's just how we grew up, I guess. It's just the whole. Τι μου κάνεις, κουκλιτσό, είσαι καλά. Κοίταξε, μεγάλωσες. Τρως, αδυνάτησες, τρως.
That's definitely one of those questions.
That's
all the time.
Classic.
But Jim, don't you find they ask you and answer the question in one sentence?
All the time.
Pákinas tros poli. I go, well, let me answer. Pákinas tros poli. Πρόσεξε λίγο. And then they say, έλα, κάτσε να φας τώρα.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jim? Buddy, how you doing? Now, are we catching you in Australia or New York?
You're catching me in Pennsylvania.
Oh, in Pennsylvania. Okay,
yeah.
So are you there now?
Yes. I've been here on lockdown since March, actually. So
wow,
with a lovely friend. So it's,
okay, good.
It's all good. It's I'm counting my blessings, but it's just weird not performing. My audience is my dog, so
yeah, no kidding, right?
Those skilaki, yeah. But it's
so we got Jim in Pennsylvania. Adi is in Washington. Am I right, Adi?
Yeah, DC.
You're in DC. Forty's in Boston. I'm in LA. This is good. The whole thing. Mm-hmm. So Jim, for us, and we're going to get to the background of you.
Sure.
But in the short term, it's good that guys will understand how comics are. We're number one we're comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
And we're used to being on the road. Like, that's what we do. It's not like, a lot of people will look at comedians and go, I couldn't do that. Well, that's why you don't do it.
Yes.
But for us, I mean, what's your biggest challenge, Jim? Because I know they're trying to do, we're happy you're on as our guest. Doing a Zoom panel is different than doing a Zoom show.
Of course.
What do you find?
I've done a couple of Zoom shows and I'm not feeling it because comedy is an intimate medium and you need that reaction, and it's such a live event that on Zoom I sometimes feel like it's dead, and we react to the audience, we react to the laughter and sometimes not the laughter, which makes us go out on a limb and try something and switch gears. And I'm grateful that it's there, but the challenge is, as for most of us, is we need that fix. I need that fix because it's
you gotta hear it.
Yeah, and it's not
just
just the performance aspect. We've often been told as comedians, we'll get people from the audience will come up and tell us, I really needed to hear that. Or I've gone through some hell and you made me feel better. I've had some amazing, but what they don't get is that we need them as much as they need us, because it's therapeutic for us as well. Because if I'm feeling down, if I'm not with it, even, and I'm sure you guys have all experienced this, when you have a cold or you or whatever it is that you have, and you're coughing, if you get on stage for 45 to an hour, you are not sick at all. And you
forget it.
There's so much adrenaline going through you. And then you get off stage and you go, oh, that's right, I have AIDS. But
that's what I felt good on stage. That's such a cool feeling, I imagine, as performers, to get that rush of being in front of a large audience. And I really do feel for you guys as performers that, you can't do what you do. What would you do if Zoom was the way that you had to work for the foreseeable future? I mean, would that completely turn you off?
If it was the foreseeable future and there was nothing else, we would do what we always do, and that is adapt, because we adapt to every audience is different, and we adapt to them. And sometimes you do a performance on a cruise ship, which is completely different because to a club, which is different to a corporate, which is different to a Greek show, so it's just switching gears. And I haven't found the gears for Zoom yet.
We've lost them.
If there are any, but if this is what we have to do, then I'm sure we'll do it. But there will always be that element of the live performance that will be missed and will be missing.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, it's funny you say that, Jim, because I did a Zoom show where they turned the audience on, guys, so they could hear them.
Oh, yeah.
So you're doing a joke and you're, Scott, put that down. Scott, put that down. And then you hear them. And then you hear no, honey, bring me the cheese. No, it's next to the beer. So these malakas are talking and they don't realize we can hear them.
Yeah.
So you're doing your routine and you're, Scott, what did I say, you little prick? And you're like, oh, kid, this is so. But Jim said something right. It's a matter of adapting. I think for comics, you need to hear the glasses clinking at the bar. You need to see the people. You hear them, breathe them, feel them. It's that interaction.
Energy.
Because it's not like film or TV where you film it and you wait 3 months and they show it. This is immediate.
Yeah.
And I think Jim's right. The adrenaline rush that comedians get, it gives you the energy. And a lot of people if they're depressed or whatever, even if they're in the worst of moods and you make them laugh, then they're kind of like, it releases like some kind of endorphin or something. And then they're able to, but I think it's funny because I think now, and we have a mutual friend, and I'll say Paul Kavunas in New York, and we do these shows. And me and Jimako have done some shows with Ellen Karras, and Jim, and there's a bunch of comedians that we sometimes do shows. It's been been a while now because Paul's not feeling well, but we were doing some shows, and I have to say, the thing about doing Greek shows, and Jim and I we've co-headlined shows together. And what's funny about Greek shows is not so much, even if you make them laugh, it's that cynicism that comes with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because when Paul would wear these weird wigs, and it was like the worst introductions in show business. He'd go like this. He'd go for me, this guy coming up, he's a fatso, and he eats a lot of hamburgers. And so on. And then for Jim, he goes, this guy come from a country, the kangaroo, and he think he's funny, but I'm funny, Jim.
Yeah,
and we're laughing. We're laughing because Paul's a great guy. We love Paul. We love Paul.
Do.
Don't get me wrong. We love Paul, but I'm laughing because if you do other shows, there's a format. Most times where they say, coming on stage now all the way from Perth, Australia, this guy's really funny. You've seen him on Jim Dailakis, bring him on. And then you do these Greek shows. And then, this guy, he's a fatso. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, remember he did that one with, I think it was for the Bayside Church. And he introduced you that way. He goes, he's a fatso. Wait till you see the size of this guy. And then when it was my turn, it's like, he's like Laurel and Hardy of Greeks. This guy's skinny. He doesn't eat anything. Incredible intros. And you go out there going, what the hell was that?
Well, what's funny, Jim, we can laugh about it because me and Jim are standing there like, these are the worst introductions.
And we're loving it.
No, you think they're the worst introductions. This guy's actually a genius.
Well, remember he put on that cowboy outfit when he came out and he was trying to do jokes? Oh, it was just so appalling.
People were confused. But you see, the audience is confused. The comedians backstage are laughing. This is what makes comedians laugh.
Yes.
And I love Paul, but
he puts the Paul in appalling.
So is Paul a comedian?
No, he's a promoter. He's a promoter. We work with him, and he's a very, very nice man. He's a very nice man. We always make fun of him. And a church usher.
Oh, really?
Oh, man, I like this guy.
Jim, the first time I went to New York to do a Greek show, I can't remember the church. He calls me up, and he sounds like a gangster from the Godfather. He really does. He goes, hey, Ange, Paul Kavunas, we're looking forward to your visit to New York City. Everybody's excited. I'm excited. And then there's a big pause. He goes, don't fuck me. And he hangs up.
This guy's a classic Greek. Right
oh, yeah, dude. But I think because everybody will, and I ask you this, Jim, because people ask us, where do you get material from? Just hang out with Greeks, man. Do these things.
My whole routine with Greeks is my family, my cousins, and Paul Kavunas. Because it was because we love to as comedians, we love to localize our humor sometimes. Like if we go to a small town, we'll drive around, walk around, get to meet the locals, see what's what. And sometimes it's even like that with the people that you meet, like Paul Kavunas. I mean, everyone knows who he is. They know his eccentricities. And I just expound on all those, about his terrible driving, about his crazy jokes, about how he talks to us. And the audience absolutely loves it. I mean, I did a 5-minute bit of him ushering people into the church because I've watched him do it. So of course I'm gonna play on that, and
it's hilarious.
And it's
hilarious.
It makes the audience appreciate you more because they feel like, oh, this is very nice. He's actually taken the time to become one of us. It's like you don't want to let your ego get in the way. And just go, well, I'm on stage now. But when you do something like that, it's like, I'm one of you. I've sat there with you, and now I'm going to tell you what I think is funny. And
but Jim,
I appreciate it.
But Jim, let me ask you. You're from Australia, and I've been to your hometown of Perth, Australia. I've had the opportunity to perform there, and you've had the opportunity to perform in my hometown in Canada, in Montreal and Ottawa. Now, here's the deal, and Ari and Forty on now because we got Canadian, Australian, and Americans on this show right now. We have all three.
Nice.
It's interesting. All three countries have a distinct difference. It's all Western world. They're all G8. But, Jim, let me ask you. When you take the Greeks that you grew up with in Australia and you look at the ones in America or Canada, how much, and this is what I'm going to ask you, how much of a difference is it? Not much.
This
right?
much. Yeah.
This much. And people don't understand if you're Greek. And that's why people go, I don't understand. People say to me, how is it? Because when I went to Australia and I saw the older people, they reminded me exactly, if I met your family, and you met if I met your family, Jim, I'm not estranged to it. They look like my family.
Yeah. Exactly
or Adi or Forty or whoever, right? Yeah. Did you find that traveling, Jim?
Yeah,
that was easy?
Very easy, because when I first came to America and we met cousins that we had never met or seen before, I remember my sister and I came into their little tiny apartment, which we were shocked by because we live in houses in Australia.
Right.
But I mean, this was the Bronx. And she says, oh my God, I've got cousins from Australia. Come in. Oh my God, look at you. So you're my father. Your mother is your mother's first cousin is my father. Oh my God. And then it switches to Greek and she goes, Elate, katistikato. So when we talk, I'm talking like an Aussie back then, like this, and my accent's different. But as soon as we talk Greek, there is no accent. It's exactly the same.
Right.
Yeah. And same in Canada.
That's the point I'm making, right, Jim? Like you can go anywhere in the world, the accents when you're speaking English or customary is different.
Yeah.
But Jim's right. The moment you start talking Greek,
it's
gone.
Yeah.
You can be anywhere.
There's small things I notice, like when in Canada and especially in Montreal. I love the way you guys say Montreal. And I got busted and heckled for calling it Toronto when I first got there. It's Toronto. It's Toronto. But the one thing I noticed with Greeks, especially in Montreal, is that whatever you say, it's always finished with egine. Egine. Everything. It doesn't matter what. That was delicious. Egine.
It's almost like a bastardized dialect to it. Because in Montreal, don't forget, they also have the French, right? So not only English, you got to deal with the French.
Yeah.
So when my sister now has that, when my sister's talking to me, she goes, me, I'm going to the pharmacy, him to his balls. What does that mean?
That's funny.
Me, I'm going to the pharmacy, him to his balls. That's my sister talking. I go, what is that?
Oh, yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's Montreal because they got French, English, and Greek. And it's going in their head.
Stuff. Yeah.
Do you know when you talk about how Greeks, we're all the same no matter which continent or country we're in? Angelo, have you worked with this promoter, the one in Montreal that I think he's got us gigs. He's got you gigs and he's got me gigs, but what's his name? Evan Goodis.
Evan Gudis, yes, of course, yes.
Yeah, Evan invited me over to meet his parents, and we were having dinner. Which, the usual thing is, because it was after Easter, so it was I think they were trying to unload all their uneaten caloria on me. But talk about a small world, where his dad starts talking, and I'll start this off with. I had an uncle, may he rest in peace, in Greece, in Kastoria, where my ancestors are from.
Nice.
They used to. His name was Themis Kasapis, and he was a furrier, like 99.8% of the Greeks.
Kastoria, that's right.
And so I'm sitting there having dinner with his parents, and his dad says, "Θυμάμαι ότι ήμουν στη Καστοριά, δούλευα για το Θέμης Κασάπης, έκανα τα..." And I just went,
wow.
Well, hang on a sec, what did you just say? And so here am I, a Greek-Australian second-generation guy from who now is in Montreal, talking to this guy who worked with my uncle in Castoria.
Unbelievable.
In the 50s. I mean,
you probably thought it was a setup.
Well, I was in shock. I just thought, he must have. Where did they get that name from? It must be another Themis Kasapis. And then he described who he was, and I went, "That's him.
That's your Theo." They must have tripped out.
They did trip out. It's funny. Evan goes, "Oh, you mean to tell me in some way I'm related to you?" And I said, "Not quite."
We know each other. The Greeks will make a Segenia right away, or Sebetheria, right?
Well, that's that's the beautiful thing about it. I remember I was with my manager at the time and producer, and we were in LA, and we went into a Greek restaurant because I said so, and he loved it. And then the restaurant owner comes out and goes, "So where are you from with your accent?" I said, "I'm Greek, but I'm Australian." He goes, "Oh, you speak a Greek?" I said, "Milao Ellenika." He goes, "Really?" And then all of a sudden, I'm his nephew, and he's giving us desserts for free. He's saying, "Mipos ο φίλος σου θέλει να φάει από αυτό?" And it's like party.
It's the best.
It's really amazing. It really is.
So, Jim, you went on a good topic here. Do you find on a road, regardless of where you go, if you have a choice of a restaurant in a town, do you gravitate to a Greek-owned restaurant first?
Yeah, or a Greek diner, because I know that they put their love into it.
Yeah, and because other comics, the Xeno comics, let's call them the Xeno comics, although we're the strange ones. They'll look at me going, "How did you know the food was going to be good here?" I guess they're Greek.
Yes. Yeah.
And even though we're a miserable people, we have too much pride to sell scut out of people.
Yeah. And I'll tell you that some of the best Greek restaurants I've ever eaten in were in Canada.
Of course.
I agree. I agree.
And I've even gone to Greece. I mean, I was a kid at the time, and I've gone to Melbourne, which has got a very
amazing Greek restaurants. They're good and beautiful, Melbourne.
But the first time my Greek roommate took me to Toronto, we went to the Greek town, and there was some
Danforth.
And he was cracking me up because he doesn't know much Greek, but it was just funny Greek. He kept calling everyone bufo, and they didn't know what he was talking about.
Bufo.
And but he took me to this Greek restaurant, and I never liked calamari until I had it there. And now I'm
hungry now.
And then when I was in Montreal, same thing. And I remember, Ange, you took us, I think we did a gig, and you took us to a place that I think he's a friend of yours, or he is a friend of yours. He opened the place up at 1 a.m. And then all of a sudden I thought, when does the goat come out? My God.
We went to, I was in Montreal, right? We were in Montreal.
Yeah.
And we went to Jardin de Panos. Yeah. I give a shout out to my friend Yanni. And
Thank you, Yanni.
And Yanni goes, where you guys want to eat? Where you want to go? He goes, "I'll open the restaurant for you."
Uh-huh.
And because it was Jim and a few other, my brother Mike was there.
That's the best.
And he went, open the restaurant and cook for us at 1:00 in the morning.
Wow.
And he wouldn't accept. I said, I have to pay this guy. I have to pay him. And he wouldn't.
He wouldn't take the money.
He wouldn't.
He got money. But you see, so fame y parea, right? Greek.
Yeah.
So fame y parea. So he liked Jim. He liked me. He goes, no, bring Jim. You know, he's funny. Let's go there. And we were there till what, about 3, 4 in the morning, Jim? I guess.
It's just like, if he's going to keep bringing it out, I'm going to keep eating.
It's so good. If you're ever in Montreal, guys, go to Jardin de Panos. It's fantastic Greek food.
Absolutely.
That's interesting that he said that Canada was the best Greek food, and Foti, you agreed. What do you think that is? Do you think they take a little more pride in Canada? Do you think it's coincidental?
I don't know. It's good.
One up there.
I just think it's the element in Canada. I mean, I love New York, and Chicago has great restaurant scenes, but something in Montreal is special. I mean, Toronto and Danforth Street, great restaurants, but there's something.
But Montreal,
something the
100%.
In the chemistry.
Well, guys, you know the best Greek Pseudo Taverna in the world, in my opinion, is called Milos. Milos out of Montreal, and they're in Athens, they're in London, they're in New York,
Vegas,
they're in Las Vegas,
and South Beach,
and I think Miami. And if you ever go to Vegas at the Cosmopolitan Hotel on the 3rd level, and it's phenomenal. Oh. I've told people from LA to go there, and they're like, they're Montrealers. So it started from Montreal.
Yeah, they've elevated Greek food to the point where, you know, it's tough to match that in other food cultures, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing is I noticed that in New York, there's an amazing restaurant in Queens, just opposite the where we did the gig, Ange, called Mythos.
Yeah, Mythos, yes.
And the food is incredible, but I'm wondering if in Montreal, I noticed that the chefs, the cooks, they're all Greek, whereas in New York, a lot of them
they're not.
They're not. They're
Sri Lankans,
Asians, Mexicans.
Yeah.
Not that they don't cook great food, them now. But I think that's it. They're trained. Whereas,
I think you're right.
Whereas in Canada, they're just Greek. They grew up with it. It's embedded from Yaya into their childhood.
I truly feel no matter how trained you are, if you're not Greek cooking Greek food, it's just not going to be the same. I have a history where I had to train non-Greeks into Greek food. And then doing it yourself as a Greek, no matter how much you train them, it's just not going to have that. You just need that little extra that it'll never happen if they're not Greek.
The touches are important.
Yeah, I feel like that for Italian food too, because I have Italian friends, and when they do it, it's different. You know, it's just like because they love their food just as much as we do, probably more.
Yeah, but you know, Jim, it's funny because. You know, if I go to a restaurant and it has to be the owner has to match the ethnicity. If the owner's Greek, I'll eat. But if he's not, I'm out of there. Because if you're in San Francisco, there's Kokari, which is one of the best Greek restaurants in America. Yes. Which for the guy Avra, which is in New York, which is now in Beverly Hills. Here in LA, Avra is the other. Those are high end. And the other nice place I like to go to in Chicago is the Greek Islands. Down in Greektown, Chicago, which is another great restaurant that I've been to. So, but the one thing they all had in common, like Jim just said, and like what you said, Forty, was the owner's got to be Greek.
Yeah. Well,
if you're not Greek, I'm not eating there.
What about this, guys? Have you come across restaurants that are not Greek, amazing restaurants, only to find out that the owners and operators were Greek?
Yeah. Yes. Many times.
Yeah. I've had that.
That goes to show you.
Yeah, I was at a diner after a gig, and I just thought, oh my God, how did they make the oatmeal this way? How did they do the eggs this way? And then they had this fasolada, and I just thought, they got to be Greek. And then I looked at the guy comes out. I didn't have to ask him because he goes, Michali. And I thought, okay,
Greek.
Now I know where. But, you know, I feel like that because I don't know if this is weird for a Greek, but I absolutely love Japanese food. But I notice the same with them. Yeah. If the owners are Japanese and there are Japanese people sitting in there, I'll go to it. If it's all white people, I'm not interested. I have to see Asians eating at that place.
If the ethnicity is in the restaurant, you know it's good.
100%.
Yeah.
Because you know what? If you go for instance, Greeks like to colonize any restaurant. So have you ever been to something? You go to a place, you go to like, New England diner, and there's a Greek souvlaki. There's like Jim's a fasolava. Even if it's a New England fish and chip shop, they put a couple of Greek things on that are just as good. Because I love in Boston, I went to this place. Adi and Forty took me, and Jim, I had, because now I'm hungry because we're talking about food.
So am I.
They took me to this place. It's a lobster roll with a clam chowder. The best $20 I ever spent in my life was there. I can't remember where you guys took me.
Legal seafood?
Not legal. It was on Faneuil Hall.
Faneuil.
Oh.
There's the Greeks were there. You knew the guy, Forty. The guy was right next to him with the Greek guys. But this place, I want to say one of the guys was Greek. I'm not sure. Yeah. But it was Jim, we had the lobster roll and clam chowder. Unbelievable. Like, and I remember because somebody said to me, what's the best? I did this podcast where they said, what's the best $20 you ever spent on food? And I used that place as an example.
Oh, man, I'm trying
where
to
I went with you guys.
Well, first of all, Forty, why didn't you pay for Angelo? What the hell?
I know.
He
sent me one.
It was factored into his fee for that day.
No, I think Forty.
You can't have the talent paying for their own food.
I think Forty paid, but I'm just saying. I remember it was $20.
All right, I'll kill you.
And I think Forty paid, because he said, I don't want you to think. But it's funny because you say that because
Greeks never let other Greeks pay.
And you know what's funny? When you're with Greeks, if all four of us were to go out, we'd fight over the bill.
Yeah,
I got
true.
it. You ever go with Kseni? You could be the only Greek with 3 Kseni. I got it. Thanks. Thank you. They don't even try. Like, Greeks.
Yeah, and they'll fight you. They'll actually physically fight you. They'll
fight you over it.
If you pull out your card, they'll go, I said,
I said, no. They get the cards out. They got the cards out. But
now
you go Kseni?
Yeah.
I got this. No fight.
Yeah.
Now lately, guys, I noticed that the behavior has switched where when you go out with your Greek pareja, usually somebody in the group will be sly and I got to go to the bathroom, and they slip the credit card to the server before they come back. That's the
other one. Oh, but I got to tell you guys, my brother Mike, who Jim knows, he did something really funny. There's a whole bunch of Greek. We're in Montreal going out. So my brother went to the bathroom, and he comes back. He goes, did you guys pay the bill yet, or should I go back to the bathroom?
That's awesome.
I fucking laugh, man. Shit like that. But then Greeks will do this though. On the flip side, okay, you'll go agree. You'll pay a couple times, then you'll hear later. Πήγαμε αυτό το μαλάκα πόσες φορές πλήρωσα εγώ. Αυτός ο τσιγκούνης μια φορά ούτε ένα chips, ένα χαντόκι να με πάει παραχαμηθεί αυτός.
Alligator arms.
And I laugh at that because I laugh at that too. So it's like I bought for you a couple of times. You better buy for me.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's the way it should be, right?
And it is fair enough. Yes.
Isn't it fair enough? But you see, I think to me, it's like going to Greece. When people say to me, especially if you're Greek, and they go, "What's great about going to Greece?" You got to understand, Greece is beautiful, the islands, the food. But I think for me, I don't know about you, Jim, but tell me this: don't you like the attitude of the people?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? They're so like in your face. They don't care.
They are in your face.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you go there.
The first time I was there, I was 8 years old. Actually, I think it's the only time I've been there. I almost got there again, but I have to go, I guess.
You got to go, Jim. You got to go.
Oh, you have to.
You got to go, Jim.
But I remember, because we grew up in civilized Australia and everyone was so polite. We got to Athens and I couldn't believe, and we're talking 70s now. So it was, first of all, I thought, how can this restaurant survive with flies buzzing around? Because I'm used to just absolute cleanliness in Australia, right? And then when we got in the cab, and the guy's honking his horn going, Vre malaka, πώς το διάλο πας? Θα σε σκοτώσω. Then that guy sticks his head out and goes, σκατά να φας και να μην χορτάσεις, μωρέ. So what do my sisters and I do in the back seat of the cab? We look at each other and go, start crying. We've never seen that.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But you talk about the cleanliness. I'm going to tell you, a souvlaki made by a really sweaty dude that's dripping onto the meat with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth with the ashes falling on the meat adds to the flavor.
Yeah, because it's done with love.
Like that anywhere else.
It's done with love and ash.
But guys, they're so direct. Like there's a place, Jim, in Greece called Goodies. It's like a hamburger place, right?
Like a fast food.
Like a fast food. And I went into Goodies. I go, those want a hamburger. And this other guy goes, "Tita sukaniana, eh?"
Oh, nice.
Tita sukaniana. Si prima fast tria tessera, la poi pione corre devis. Like they give you
a sales pitch.
Yeah, imagine going to Burger King. You imagine going to Burger King in Bayside? Can I have a Whopper? Sure. You imagine going to Burger King in Bayside? Can I have a Whopper? What's one going to do? Have 3, 4. That's so Greek. Like they just say shit like that, and they don't care, man.
No filter.
Very generous. But I feel like Italians are the same. Like, come on.
What the fuck?
I feel like that's just like kind of cool. Like I like that. I feel like we're very reserved here, and I'm sure Canada's the same. I'm sure Australia's the same.
Yes.
But everything's like very PC, very reserved. Customers always right. Blah blah blah. And it's like, just let it out, man. Be like, yo, you need a couple of hamburgers, buddy. Let's do this.
Just a couple of burgers.
Yeah.
So Jim, what do you find the pros and cons have been about leaving Australia and living in America? Because I see it myself sometimes, Canada and here. For you, what do you find the big differences are? Just living or as a comic, or just living in general?
I always say that I love both places for what they are and dislike them for what they're not. But I think the first thing is that in Australia, there's such a laid-back atmosphere. There's such a no worries, mate. And it's not all about money. It's not all about fame, fortune, and trying to get to the top. It's almost as though that's secondary, because in Australia, it's like, yeah, we'll hit the big time, mate. But first, let's have a sausage sizzle. And let's have a barbie. What do you say? Come on over. I'll bring the beers. Well, but over here, it's not that there isn't that, but it's not the focus. And I think, I love this place because of the opportunities, and it's, I could never have grown the way I have grown here as an artist, as a comedian.
How long have you been here, Jim?
I came here in '96 to do a 3-month tour, and it's still going. So it's almost like 23 years, but it's almost like it's actually 25 altogether, because I came here to study acting and all that back in the 80s and 90s. And
so you've been here.
I've been here, yeah, and it was just so much fun. I just felt very welcome, which I love, and I think. As far as living, I think everything's just so much easier in Australia. I just feel more expensive, which probably is the same in Canada, but it's but then, there's the pros and the cons. I worry about healthcare here, where my healthcare plan is if I get sick, I'm flying home.
We still go. We have that in common. We have that in common.
Yeah,
we have that in common, Jim, because it's the same thing. But it's interesting because it's like anything when you move to a new place, you try to be comfortable. And I was telling the guys, I go, the one thing about Jim, and he's hilarious. You're one of the funniest guys I know. But you also do the impressions, and he does sometimes impressions of famous people if they were Greek, and I fucking kills me when he does something. He did it. I know you modified it. That's what people ask us. Do you modify sometimes?
Yeah, it's like which one was the one that was just for Rocky? It would be like Petra. Θέλω να σε... Πήγε να πιάσεις το τη κότα, μωρή. Δεν θέλω να πιάσω τη κότα, Μιχάλη. Θέλω να τη φάω, κατάλαβες.
That's awesome.
Really, the first time you did that, I freaking howled. I thought it was hilarious, and I know, and I know it comes natural for you because your face. The thing about it, it's not just the impression; your face changes.
Yeah.
And I think you did it. I think you also did it. De Niro, if it was Greek.
Μιλά σε μένα. Δεν βλέπω κανένας άλλος εδώ πέρα. Σε βλέπω, θα σε βλέπω. Εγώ θα σε βλέπω. Εσύ έχεις δώρο, μωρή.
Brilliant. That's why I said
we got to send Jim to handle some of our business.
Yeah. No kidding, man. No, but that's good. We don't. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's because a lot of times, as a comic, because we don't. The Greek shows are great, but we're not doing Greek shows all the time. There's a lot of main. I know that, like Jim, myself,
it's our main work.
It's the main work, so it's always funny to me when I know you could take. That's talent when you could take something and add a language to it and make it because Mila Semena, all that kind of stuff is hilarious to me, and I think that's what we need. How? Let me ask you guys all this question now because we're going into month number 9. How important is it for our mental health to maintain and laugh still? I know it's hard for us. I have hard days. I don't know about you, Jim.
Yes,
days I wake up, I'm like, my life's over. I'm just, but we need, because people, it's funny because it's hard to, I think for Greeks, as happy as we are, everything's doom and gloom, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now, how important is your guess what? They were right.
Yes, they were right.
Yeah.
It's like I do that joke, Ange, in my Greek act where when you say it's all is good with Greeks, but it's doom and gloom. It's like the yaya when you say, "Πώς είσαι, yaya? Are you okay? How's it going?" She'll say, τα μάτια μου δεν βλέπω τώρα, έχω cataracts. Και το γκόλο μου δεν πουνάει, είναι κόκαλένιο, δεν μπορώ να χέσω, η καρδιά μου έκανα triple bypass 7 φορές. Το κίνη είναι transplant και τα δόντια δεν είναι δικά μου και πουνάω μέρα και νύχτα. Όμως καλά είμαι, δόξα τω Θεώ.
Oh man!
Jim, you just summed it up right there, buddy. You summed it up. It's exactly how it is, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I've noticed now that, especially with holidays, because we had to miss out on Easter. Psychologically, for Greeks, it's a big deal. Oh, yeah. And now with Christugena coming, it's kind of like. So I mean, you got to be able to. Now, are you going to be able to? I guess, no, you can't. What am I talking about? You can't even fly to Australia. Qantas isn't even flying.
Well, I used to fly with Qantas.
Can you go?
But I switched to United. Don't hate me. But
but we've had this, you have the points.
Yeah, of course, because it was just made more sense to fly with a US-based airline. And I could fly business, and I never took it for granted, ever. And this year shows me how I can't take it for granted.
Right, ever. Right.
And even more so in the future when hopefully it passes. But I was supposed to go July 18. Then they changed it to July 19, then 20. Then they canceled it because Western Australia closed the borders. They did everything the right way. They went on strict lockdown for 6 weeks. They enforced the mask wearing. If you were caught out, you would pay $1,000 fines. And there was actually, I think, at one point, a politician who was out and about, and he had to pay as well. But 6 weeks, the government paid. I think it was the same as in Canada. I think it was $1,800 a fortnight or something.
Yeah, right.
And my sister was one of those people, and she was upset about not working, even though she was getting government assistance. But then they stopped. They got it under control to the point where only Victoria, where Melbourne is, they were the ones who were protesting about we don't want to wear masks, and they were the worst.
And they got hit the worst, yeah.
Yeah, and then and then the governor, premier we call them, which is like a governor in do you do that in Canada? Are they premiers like we have in Australia?
Yeah, the premier for the province.
Yeah, so it's he just said, okay, you guys didn't do as you were told, strict lockdown, and they called him a communist, they called him a tyrant, they called him a dictator. Guess what? Melbourne's fine now.
Yeah.
So once you do it, it's fine. And now they're easing border restrictions again. New Zealand did it. And so unfortunately for me, I go every year to see my parents, sometimes twice a year.
Right.
But this year, I've had 5 flights canceled.
Oh, shit.
So, and it's all, they said, United, they would call me and they were exceptional. I mean, people complain about airlines and airline stuff, but they were so good to me. They were saying, we're trying to get so many Aussies back to Australia, but we're trying so hard. It's not, let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do that. But the problem was they got me to Japan, they got me to Singapore, they got me to Bangkok, but never to Perth because Perth
they've shut down.
And they were only allowing 75 international travelers per day. And you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. The government was paying for it in the beginning, but now we have to fork it out ourselves to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks, which is understandable because I can't have the government paying for absolutely everything.
Right.
But that's just how strict it is, and because of it, I couldn't see it. And my girl here, she can't see her grandmother, and her grandmother is 6 miles down the road, but because she's in a home, she can't see her. I couldn't see my cousins in New York. Which we normally do, so you're right. You have to keep.
It's good that you were going, because it's good that you're going, Jim. Because think about it. Believe it or not, the world leaders at the beginning of COVID were Greece. They were ahead of everybody.
I was impressed.
I'm thinking Greeks because you go that's the four out. I
was impressed. I was proud.
But this is where the Aussies were smart guys. They kept people out. The Greeks in July, as you know, opened it up to Europeans. And then they opened it up a bit more. And now, I don't know if you know, but Thessaloniki, Athens, Greece is on lockdown again.
Yeah, it's just going to keep
happening. They've locked it down. So I'm thinking they were ahead of it, but now they say we have a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
The Greek. I was talking to my mom, and my uncle was there, and he goes, and it's so funny. He goes, I kept talking to my mom in Greek, and I go, "I'm up to vaccine to Paris." I go, "Ελπίζω to paro, mom." I hear my uncle, "To Paris, θα σου πέσει." I'm to Paris, θα σου πέσει. So they away they have this like right away they're like opposed to it. I go, "Τι να κάνω, man? If you got to go to work." Yeah, you're going to take the vaccine.
It's like the typical Greeks who go, δεν χρειάζεται vaccine. Φάει λίγο σκόρδο και κρεμμύδι και θα σου σκοτώσει όλα τα gems.
Μετάξα.
Ναι, μετάξα. Λίγο κρασί.
You have a sore tooth, get hammered. Yeah. The old wives. So, Jim, how many old school remedies? I still do a few myself. We don't think we're superstitious.
Yeah.
And then I'll do things where my wife looks at me going, "What are you doing?" My kid's got a sore tooth. Rinse it with Metaxa. I got 7-star.
God. Chamomile is another.
Chamomile with the honey from Greece, but the Tsaito Vuno. I brought Tsaito Vuno. My friend goes, "Where'd you get the weed?" I got it from Serokabi, Greece.
Have you ever joked with your friends and let them smoke the Tsaito Vuno?
No.
Tsaito Vuno.
They'll get sleepy.
They'll get sleepy with it, right? But Jim, do you ever find yourself any old wife that subconsciously? Do you ever find yourself doing something they're going, "Well, why am I doing this?"
Yeah, if I have a cold, fasolada and avgolemono.
I love avgolemono. It's
Who
great.
Who doesn't? But that's
I love it.
And my dad will. I think to this day, I'll still do it. He'll go Karamiri, and he's going to be 91 in January, so he's doing something.
Oh, bless him. Good for him.
Oh yeah,
good for him.
Good.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's interesting because we always talk about superstitions, and we always talk about things like I won't put shoes on the table because it's bad luck. And it's funny how it's subconscious, you know?
Yeah. I think for me, I wouldn't put shoes on the table because it's gross.
It's gross, disgusting. But Italians won't put a hat on a bed because
I didn't know that.
Death.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Well, listen, you know? We weren't able to. The door that you came in is the door you got to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, there is something that I do, and every time I do it, I go, "What am I doing?" It's like if I drop the salt, I'll always go like that over my left shoulder. I go, "What was that?"
I do that.
It's just I'm so programmed, you know. But I know
it. The salt.
I don't believe any of it.
Well, you don't. The Armenians. My wife's the Armenians. If I hand you a knife, I have to put the knife on a table, and you have to pick it up. Because if I hand you the knife directly, it means we're going to fight. But I don't know why. I still put the knife on the table, and we still fight. So I think it's bullshit.
Is it the Greeks? We used to whenever I would drop a fork or a knife or a spoon, my parents would go, ποιος θα έρθει? Because it always meant like you were going to get visitors.
That's funny you say that. It's true.
And the other one was don't. Μη σηκώνεις από το τραπέζι και αλλάζεις θέση, θα παντρευτείς 2 φορές.
Oh, that's funny.
I used to do it, like I must have changed seats 120 times and I haven't been married once.
Prove that theory.
If you accidentally spill coffee, θα πάρεις λεφτά.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're spilling it everywhere.
Itchy hands, you'll get money.
Or if your ears are ringing, someone's talking about you.
Yeah,
that's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you say a story and you sneeze in the middle of the story, less alήθεια.
Na que alήθεια. It's so funny. My younger sister's got such a sense of humor. She'll do that because our parents used to do that when we'd say something and she'd sneeze, or we'd sneeze and they'd say na que alήθεια. My little sister will go na que alήθεια. She'll do it for a burp.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Jim, look, man, look, what do you, it's maybe a rhetorical question to say what's coming up because I know it's difficult, but we're going to, where can people find you? Give us all your social media. So when people are clicking on, they can find Jim Dailakis, and where's all your social media stuff that you do?
Yeah. It's currently on lockdown.
Okay.
My websites are on lockdown. No, Jim doesn't have gigs at lockdown.com. No, it's comedianjim.com, and it has all my other ones. Like Comedian Jim is my Twitter handle. It's Facebook, and what I've done.
Instagram,
Comedian Jim.
Okay.
And the thing is, I was encouraged to do videos. Not only for other people, but for my own sanity, which I have done a lot of this year. And I kind of stopped because it's like what you were saying before. Hey, you think, I'm having down days now. And then you come back up and go, I just had an idea for a video. And then you do it. And people go, that's all right, 3 likes. And then you do something, I'm going to do this, and it's really stupid. And they go, oh, my God, 3,000 likes.
And they like it.
Yeah, so that's why you got to just enjoy what you're doing. And
that's awesome.
So that's where you can find me for now until.
For now. Jim, we have no gigs. We're picking horta.com. Me and Jim will be at the highway with those butter knives picking up the horta.
And I had a gig for Greeks in Montreal with Mr. Panos.
Mr.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, with
Yanni Papas. Yeah,
Yanni. We're gonna get Yanni on.
We did.
Yeah, we should.
Yanni on the show.
You, the 3 of us actually, didn't we do that?
Well, remember, Jim, we all did it. Remember?
Yeah,
it was
for TV.
Me, you,
Yanni.
So, guys, it was Yanni Panos. Yanni
Papas.
Mr. Panos, Jim, and myself, and we taped a television segment for Just for Laughs, which is the biggest comedy festival in the world, and we had a lot of fun.
We did,
and I remember because I just got engaged to my wife, and she was there when we did this, and that was a lot of fun. I got to tell you, that was a great show.
It was.
And we had a lot of fun. Did you ever see the episode? Because I never saw it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube apparently. And
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah, and some I didn't even know it was there. It just happened I came upon it by accident, and I love the comments like, "Who's this guy?" Because it's me, and and they're going, "No one gets these jokes because it's all in Greek." And then people are going, "Well, maybe it was." They're all,
Greek show.
YouTube.
It was
doesn't
a Greek
have
show.
YouTube doesn't have a clue, so.
Right,
I just chimed in and I said, "Hi, everyone. Let me clear some things up. This was a Greek show at the Montreal Comedy Festival, specifically for Greeks." And then that got all these likes. And, "Oh, thank you for clearing it up." I thought they were going to attack me and go, "You unfunny sack of shit."
Oh, I get it, Jim. You're not the only one, buddy. I get people coming on saying shit. Like they'll make comments, but I call them internet trolls. I think they exist everywhere.
Yeah, you just
and then they just get on and they start fighting. I put up something about a turkey. In California, they said you're allowed 6 people for Thanksgiving, but 30 people at a funeral. I didn't write it. So I put up a meme that said, "I'm having a funeral for my turkey on Thanksgiving. Refreshments will be served." And I put this up, and people are calling, that's not right. You're promoting unsafe lifestyle, and you should be wearing them. It's a joke. I'm a comedian.
People.
How can you think that's serious? How can anyone?
But Jim, they do. Some people do. They think they're, "Oh my God, you killed the turkey." What the fuck? It's
you have to always remember, people are dumb. And half of those people are dumber than you even think.
Yes.
But that's why you gotta be. I said we're comedians. Our job is to take things and shake them and look at them differently. And I mean, I'm sorry about if I offended you with the turkey.
I'm sorry that you're offended by it. I'm not sorry about the joke.
You guys as comedians, you have to listen. I'm a web professional. I've been a professional web guy for 25 years ish. Please just ignore it. I mean, there's no getting rid of it. People are never going to get smarter. No. And some people will never not be assholes. So no matter what you do, they're gonna be like stupid or assholes about it. So just ignore it. Ignore it.
Yeah. And people say that we've gone really bad with political correctness, but when you really think about it, people have always been this pathetic because remember, we go as far back as Elvis, like don't show him from the waist down because it's disgusting.
True.
Then remember the people with their protesting against the Beatles and long hair, long-haired louse, how dare you? And then Kiss comes along and they're just a band, but they're all satanic worshippers.
The internet has given everybody a voice, and not everybody should have a voice.
I agree with you. Do you know that song Desiderata? Listen to the dull and ignorant. They too have their story. Turns out, nah, they don't. Shut the fuck up.
That's true. Jim, I had a poster of Kiss on my room growing up. Yeah. And my mom tore it down. That felt
Yeah.
My mom tore it off. She thought they were devils.
You want to hear a quick story? When I was little, I went to a friend's house, and he had a poster of Twisted Sister.
Right. Yeah.
And my parents were like, "Oh my God, they're horrible devil worshippers, blah, blah, blah. Don't look at that." And then I have a 20-month-old son, and I put on songs for toddlers, and they had this like kids bop version of "We're Not Gonna Take It" or one of the Twisted Sister songs. And I was like, what the hell happened? Like,
that's hilarious, dude.
Satanic to like kids music.
That's hilarious.
You never know.
Yeah, it's not.
Back in the old days, it was just, why did the chicken cross the road? And you just wait for the punchline. Now it's, why did the chicken cross the road? Why is the chicken on the road? That's just inhumane.
Who let the chicken on the road to begin with?
Yeah, that's just wrong.
Well, Jim, before we let you go, because we loved having you on this show. An hour goes by fast.
It sure does.
We do a little Q&A. Forty does a Q&A with every guest, and we ask.
Sure.
It's to test your a quiz sort of on what you like, and let Forty take it.
9 inches.
Okay, before nice, Fonty. I was trying to set it up.
Answer all the questions we had. Thank you. No.
Good night, everyone.
Fonty's like, okay, shut up. I got it from here. I'm trying to introduce you.
Jim, thank you very much.
There you go.
But Jim, this has been great. We've enjoyed the time with you.
Thank you.
Especially when it hits home for all of us. That's what's most important.
Sure.
But a couple things we'd like to ask just to get to know Jim a little better. Tell us, Jim, your favorite and least favorite Greek food.
Favorite. Oh, this is the hardest question on earth. But I would. Oh my gosh, it's probably a chicken souvlaki in a roll, not in a pita bread.
Okay.
And just with lots of lettuce and onion. I think that's my favorite.
You're making me hungry. Shut up, Jim.
And I think I want it. It has to have the. And I'm doing this myself now.
Okay.
I have to have the lettuce has to be not just thrown in. It has to go onto the grill as well at the very end when you're.
Okay.
Yeah, and same with the tomato. Same with all that. All has to, because I grew up in Perth. There was a place called the Plaka Shish Kebab, and my dad used to bring them home to us kids when he would stay out late at the Kalapi, because and he felt guilty, so he would buy us these things, and they were absolutely amazing. And my mouth's watering.
Okay.
So
Me too.
I love that. I love avgolemono. But I think maybe the souvlaki is way up on the top. And my least favorite is probably dolmades, because I don't get it.
Okay.
I love dolmades.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I love it.
I don't get it. I love that. Okay, dolmades. Now, you did mention through our segment, Jim, that if I'm, tell me if I'm correct, the last time you were in Greece was when you were
8.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you did mention that you definitely want to get back there, but we always like to ask our guests if there was one destination in Greece that you could actually go to, where would it be?
Santorini.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
I've just heard so many.
Beautiful.
No one person has said yuck. I'm a little bit concerned about the Meadows situation, but as you do when you're in Greece. But everyone, I mean, I have a comedian friend, Kevin Israel, who's Jewish. Go figure. He and his girl went there for their honeymoon, and I don't know how long ago it was. He still keeps posting pictures, but he was so enamored and amazed by it. And my cousins have gone, and other people have gone, and there's not one complaint. It's like, how can this be real?
It's like you step into a postcard.
Yeah. And that's where that's probably the destination I want more than anything to go anywhere.
Yeah, you got to do it. You have to go.
And Athens, because I love big cities. I can't help myself.
Athens is great. I love Athens.
I was 8 years old and I loved it. My parents were like, ever since I was a kid, I don't know. Big cities just jive with me. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I love New York.
And now that you mentioned parents, our last question. The most memorable sayings from your parents.
My favorite saying from my dad would have to be, there's actually two, and the first one is when I said, Dad, he said, I think you have to buy real estate. Get a house. And I said, but Dad, I'm an artist. I'm a free spirit, and I want to be a free spirit so I can pursue my dream as an artist. And he said, yes, be free spirit, be an artist, pursue your dream, but with a house. That's my favorite.
That's a smart man.
And he would always say to me, spend your money, but spend it wisely.
Yes, he's right.
And from my mom, it was just affection. I guess it was just bechkamu. She still says it, which is bechka is a lamb. I think it's more of a
dialect.
I think it's more of a Macedonian thing. Because being in northern Greece, it's practically Macedonia. Right. So she would just go bechkamo, which is my little lamb, and she'll do it now. Like I'll see her on Skype. She's 85, and she'll look at me and just go, And to my sisters, to anybody. She's just a saint. She's
cute.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, Jim. Look, man, thank you so much for coming on Connecting
Thanks
Greeks.
for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Good to talk to you. We'll talk again
too. Yeah,
often. And thanks for coming and doing the show. Ari will let you know all the platforms and everything is going to go on.
Yeah, we'll have the video up tomorrow. We'll have the podcast, which is on the major networks tomorrow. We're going to link up all your stuff. I just want to say, as Angelo did, thank you, Jim, so much for your time. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. And I know I'm with Canadians because the politeness is ridiculous.
Well, they're Americans, the two of them.
That's
why.
Screw you, Jim.
Well, I did say that I've never felt so welcome here, and it's the most. I remember when I had with New York, I didn't know if I wanted to live there, and I said, I think New York. I think we should start dating other cities. So I went to the UK where I met Ange, and we did the Edinburgh Festival, and then I realized how much more in tune I am with Americans, and how much friendlier, and how much I felt at home and a kinship with them. And
I forgot about that. We were in Scotland together for the month. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So I really appreciate the politeness and the friendliness. In fact, I do that in my shows in the US where I say, you guys are all so polite, and the audience laughs. And I go, why do you guys laugh at yourselves? You're so hard on yourselves. But I will say this too. I'm so grateful for I'm glad we became friends with all this, because you got me my first gig in Toronto. And it was fun, and we did so many others, and it was an honor to actually play it where you grew up.
We had a lot of fun there. And we'll do more, Jim. We'll do some more. So. We don't know when, but we'll do more for sure, buddy.
So it was awesome. I hope to do movies and stuff with you too,
that'd be
God
fun.
Willing. Yeah.
The new Greek Laurel and Hardy.
Well, actually, you look so much slimmer. I don't think you're going to pass anymore.
I've lost, but if another 3 months of COVID, you'll be picking me up with a forklift here. All right.
So I really appreciate it.
It's coming. I knock on wood. It's hopefully coming towards. We're in for a hell of a winter. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
I think after that we're gonna start seeing some brighter days.
I do too. I do have faith. I can't help it.
Just hold it together and get through this winter, because it's gonna be shitty. I really think so. But after that, I think we're really onto something.
I'm the eternal optimist.
Yeah.
So I believe it will happen, and I think there are a lot of stupid people, not just in the US, but in Australia, in the world.
Yes.
But I feel that we should be blessed that the majority of the people here, and indeed the world, are smarter. There's more of those than there are dummies.
I hope so, man. I hope so, because this 2020 taught me of a lot of stupidity in this world, and I hope we move past it. And
if hindsight is 2020, I don't want any hindsight.
I love that. Good way to end it.
I am so. Can I use that? That is the best. I love that quote.
That's a great quote, Jim. That was good.
That is awesome.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Jim, thank you so much. We appreciate it so much. You're such a pleasant and nice and just such a good guy. And when we first started the show, we were talking about how Greeks are all the same. When we first started doing Connecting Greeks, I'd always get really nervous and what kind of person is this going to be. Now it's like, we got a Greek from here, we got a Greek from Australia, we got a Greek from New York, whatever. Now I'm like, yeah, we're cool. He's going to be cool. And
that's awesome.
You proved it to us, and thank you so much for your time.
See how lovely Americans are. See.
All right, fellas.
As always, we love you, buddy. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Forty, you're the man. Keep strong. Kalinichta, Jim, thank you. Everybody, thank you. Everybody watching, thanks for watching. Tomorrow, video, podcast, everywhere. Thank you all.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
Kalinichta.
Kalinichta.
Πηγαίνετε να κάνετε νάνι.